He gave the alien girl a towel, but her response left him speechless. The rain fell in sheets, hammering against the sides of the small shuttleport on Vera 9. Liam ducked under the metal awning, shivering, his jacket soaked through in minutes. He hated the rain, hated being stuck in crowded ports, and most of all, hated the alien bureaucracy that seemed determined to make every trip a test of patience. That was when he noticed her. She was sitting on the wet ground, her slender frame hunched, her head buried in her arms. Her skin was a luminous lavender, catching the flickering neon lights above in a strange ethereal glow. Her hair, long and silvery, stuck to her cheeks and neck from the rain. Her eyes, two enormous violet orbs, were closed, but she was trembling visibly. Liam hesitated, unsure if he should intervene. Stories of stranded aliens weren't uncommon, but most people gave them space. "Hey!" he called softly, stepping closer. She didn't move. "Are you okay?" At that, she lifted her head slightly, eyes blinking in confusion, perhaps mistrust. Liam noticed the small, delicate form of her cloak, torn and soaked. The shuttleport's harsh lights reflected in her eyes, but she didn't speak. He swallowed, realizing she might not communicate the way humans did. Without thinking, he fumbled in his backpack and pulled out a folded towel, dry and clean. "Here," he said, holding it out. "You might need this." Her eyes widened, not with fear, but something else entirely. Curiosity, maybe even recognition. She reached out hesitantly, and the moment her fingers brushed the towel, she recoiled slightly, almost as if the warmth startled her. Liam froze, unsure whether he had made a mistake. Then, she did something completely unexpected. She wrapped the towel around herself, but instead of just drying off, she lifted her face to him. Her lips parted in a soundless gasp, and she pressed her forehead gently against his chest, her hands clutching the towel like it was a lifeline. Liam's heart thumped, and for a moment, he didn't know how to react. "You like it?" he asked awkwardly, rubbing the back of his neck. Her response wasn't verbal. She pulled back slightly, her violet eyes locking onto his, and pressed something into his hand. Liam looked down and realized she had given him a small crystal, glowing faintly in shades of purple and silver. "This is yours," she said, her voice trembling but melodic, the accent of her species wrapping each word in a musical tone. Liam stared, too stunned to speak. The crystal felt warm, almost alive, humming faintly against his palm. What does it mean?" he asked finally. She tilted her head, and for the first time she smiled, small, shy, and utterly sincere. She pointed to the towel around her shoulders, then back to him, and then to herself. Liam's brow furrowed, the pieces slowly clicking into place. I helped you," he said. "The towel." Her smile widened, and she nodded. The crystal pulsed gently, as though affirming his thought. In that moment, Liam understood. This wasn't just gratitude. It was a connection, a bond of trust, fragile but real, between two beings from different worlds. Rain continued to pour around them, but inside the small circle of light beneath the awning, the storm felt distant. Liam knelt down beside her. "Do you need a place to stay? Safe?" he asked, still wary of overstepping. The alien girl's violet eyes sparkled, and she tilted her head, pointing toward a corner of the port where the maintenance crew kept dry storage containers. Liam nodded and led the way. She followed, clutching the towel tightly around herself, the crystal still in his hand, warm and pulsing. Inside the container, he set down a small stack of blankets and gestured for her to sit. She did, careful not to let the towel slip, but now she seemed calm, almost relieved. Liam watched her for a long moment, realizing that sometimes the simplest gestures, like offering a towel, could bridge entire galaxies. "You're welcome," he said finally, unsure why words seemed so small for the moment. The alien girl tilted her head again and, in a movement both graceful and deliberate, placed her hand over his heart. The crystal glowed brighter, and Liam felt a strange warmth radiate through him. It wasn't just magic. It was trust, appreciation, and a silent acknowledgement that their worlds, though different, had found a fleeting intersection. Then, without a word, she curled up with the blankets, the towel wrapped around her like a second skin. Liam sat on the edge of the container, watching the rain streaking down the metal walls, thinking about the strange, unexpected friendships that could bloom even in the most unlikely circumstances. Hours passed. The shuttle port emptied. The rain slowed. And still, the alien girl rested safely, her trust in him unspoken but powerful. Liam realized that sometimes, heroism wasn't about grand gestures or epic battles. It was about noticing someone in need, stepping forward, and offering the smallest piece of comfort. Later, when she finally looked at him again, her violet eyes full of light, Liam simply smiled and nodded. Words were unnecessary. They both understood. One towel, one simple act of kindness, had created a bridge that neither time nor distance could easily erase. And in that quiet, rain-soaked shuttleport on Vera 9, a human and an alien girl shared a moment that would linger in memory long after the stars had shifted, a testament to the power of compassion and connection. Hours passed. The shuttleport emptied, and the rain slowed to a soft drizzle. Liam sat on the edge of the container, watching the alien girl curled up with the towel wrapped tightly around her. The crystal she had pressed into his hand earlier continued to pulse faintly, a warm reminder of the trust she had placed in him. Her violet eyes met his again, filled with a quiet intensity that transcended words. For a moment, Liam realized that heroism wasn't about grand gestures or battles. It was about noticing someone in need and offering a simple act of care. A towel, a small warmth in a cold, indifferent world, had forged a bridge between them. She slowly placed her hand over his chest, and he felt a gentle pulse, almost as if the crystal's energy flowed between them. It wasn't magic, at least not in the way humans understood, but a connection built on gratitude, trust, and the fragile beauty of shared vulnerability. Liam smiled, realizing that this moment would linger long after the rain stopped, long after they left the shuttleport. Words were unnecessary. The alien girl's response, her silent acknowledgement, said everything. "Thank you. I trust you." As the first light of Vera 9's twin suns peeked through the clouds, he gently placed another blanket over her and sat quietly by her side. Outside, the world continued in chaos, indifferent and unfeeling. But inside the small container, there was safety, warmth, and a bond that neither distance nor time could sever. And in that quiet, rain-soaked shuttleport, a human and an alien girl shared a moment that spoke of the extraordinary in the simplest gestures. A towel, a crystal, a hand extended in kindness. In that fleeting connection, Liam understood something profound. Sometimes, saving someone doesn't require heroics, only a willingness to care.